want to welcome everyone to the Eat Well Cooking Club. This is our June session for June 16, 23rd, and 30th. It is a 3-week session, virtual cooking class, and this is session number 1. Okay, so I'm Dale Cain. I am the moderator. For registration, we do have some new people that are joining us today, and we have others that are returning. So we want to thank the ones that are returning and welcome the ones that are joining us today for the first time. I am the Director of Advocates for Community Wellness with Health Promotion and Nutrition Education Program. I am a professional nutrition specialist. I have a certification in plant-based nutrition as a cooking coach. I also completed a plant-based nutrition program at the Cornell University. I have over 18 years of work experience in health promotion and disease prevention, and working in the wellness and culinary programs throughout the city of Chicago. And I'm also the former Illinois State Cooking Matter program, which is a national nutrition education program for children and families. A little bit about Advocates. We are a nonprofit. We're 501c3, founded in 2003. We are a faith-based, non-denominational, holistic health promotion, nutrition education, and disease prevention ministry without walls. Our objective is to promote health, wellness, healthy lifestyles to individual, families, communities, and this is to lessen complication and to reduce risk factors of chronic diseases and condition, to close the health disparity gap that exists in America. Okay, I just want to center on our goals is to seek awareness, to raise awareness and increase education. And number 2 is to promote our 8 dimensions of wellness. And today we're going to focus on financial wellness. Also, everything that we do is to help others to grow in knowledge, prosper in all things, and be in good health in body and soul. Okay, we have 3 presenters today. We have a guest presenter, Doug Horne from Thrivent Financial, Karen Coruthers, and Chef Karen. So Karen, will you share a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. I am Karen Coruthers and the founder of Keystone Education Center. I'm a bilingual nutritionist and the author of 2 books. One is Karen's Exquisite Cuisine, which is an educational nutrition cookbook. And the other one is Winds of Change, which is a personal spiritual journey book. I've been practicing nutrition since 1994 throughout the community in Hispanic and African American, all kind of communities, North Side, West Side, South Side, doing food demonstrations for corporations and daycares, working especially with the children, trying to give the children and the families a head start in life. I have a bachelor's in nutrition from Valparaiso University and a master's in education from Lewis University. I'm also licensed by the state of Illinois to teach food safety sanitation classes, and also licensed by the Red Cross to teach CPR and first aid. It's awesome to be here again with you, Dale and Chef Karen, and to be with everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Chef Karen.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Chef Karen Crawford-Moore. I am a personal chef and culinary instructor, and I am the owner of TLC Personal Chefing, and I provide in-home meal replacement. I do events. I help plan, coordinate menus for events and execute them. And then I also teach culinary classes, as I am going to do for you today. And I've been in various aspects of food service for over 20 years.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and so before we get started, we just want to share our disclaimer, waivers, and consent. And the information presented today in this program is strictly intended It's not intended to replace any advice of your medical doctors or other healthcare professionals with whom you consult. This is strictly for informational only. We have advised you of our instructors, their credentials and backgrounds and their training. And also, but we do understand that people have some special needs when it comes to the cooking, and the recipes that we provided may contain some allergens, but you assume full responsibility to modify the recipes as needed for your own personal health. And thirdly, recording. All of our Zoom sessions are recorded, but you can turn your video and audio on and off for your privacy and at your own discretion. Okay, so today's topic, each month we have a topic, a theme that we teach on and share. So today, June series is food, mood, and financial wellness. So good food does equal a good mood, but it also is helping you to make better decisions about your money. Okay, I have a biblical reference because we are faith-based. And from Ecclesiastic 10:19, this is the New King James, it reads, "A feast is made for laughter and will make merry, but money answers all things." Okay, and another version says, "A feast is made for laughter and will make the life glad, but money is the answer to all things." And that will lead us into our discussion. So next, I'd like to introduce Doug Horne, which is our guest speaker. Doug?
Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me, Dale. Appreciate that. Yeah, there's a little bit about me right there, and I have a slide on my presentation too that I can talk about. But I was thinking, first of all, I really appreciate you inviting me here because number one, I like food. So I feel like I'm in the right place. And the other thing I was thinking about, your 8 areas of wellness, thinking about, and reminds me of a series my pastor did about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago now, on wellness and how everything we do is really connected. If we're not eating right, that can affect our performance at work, right?
Yes.
And obviously it affects our bodies and our physical well-being if we're not eating right. Same way, if we're going through a divorce, that's going to really affect us as well. We may not get the right amount of sleep because we're worried and so forth. The same thing with finances. If we have struggles over finances and are worrying about that, that may affect we may wake in the middle of the night and think about that, or think about that at work, and it'll give us struggle. So we're all very much interconnected with that. But just very quickly there, you can see I've been in this business since 2015, and after that, before that, I had a dual career in teaching and running a business. So here's a little bit more about me. Personal, I'm married, have 4 children, bachelor's degree from Cedarville University, which is in high school. Fun fact, I'm also a professional musician and do lead, I have about 3 bands, depending how you look at it. But here's one thing I want to emphasize too, giving back. At the bottom of the screen, you can see the charities and causes that I support. I just highlight those for which I will come back to towards the end of my talk. And actually today we may not get to that, but there's a very specific reason I am with Thrivent as a company versus other companies. Very briefly, Thrivent is a faith-based company. financial services company, which makes it a little bit interesting as far as the way we help people. I think it's a little bit more robust. So Dale, if I can, I'm just going to continue here. Is that all right?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. So I want to have everyone think about this. Now, I've never met any of you before, except Dale. We met maybe a year and a half ago, I think, before the pandemic, maybe in the fall of 19, I believe. Anyways, think about yourself. Think about your family. Think about your children. Think about people you know. You may not know where they're at, but how about yourself? This is a rhetorical question. This is, don't answer, don't raise your hand. Don't text me or chat in the box. Where do you see yourself in this continuum? Are you surviving? Are you struggling? Are you stable? Are you secure? Or, this is great when you're right over here, are you in surplus? Where are you at in your financial life? And so what we do, we help people move to the right, from surviving all the way to surplus. And I'll tell you, when you're in surplus, it's really great. You know why? Or even secure. You know why? Because you are in a position to help other people. You know, somebody is in need, and it's really neat to be able to write them a check or do a GoFundMe page or something like that, and help people in that situation. Maybe you do it even when you're struggling yourself. God bless you for that. But my point is, as you move to the right in this continuum, it's easier and easier, and it expands your the people you can help expands very greatly. So this is what I talk about with people and help them in this direction. So here's how we do this. We do this with 5 financial habits to live by. Think about this. And by the way, this is no means just from me. I didn't come up with this. Thrivent didn't come up with this. I think these are almost universal principles with financial habits. So let's jump in here in the few minutes that I have with you, and then later in the next weeks we'll be expanding on this, because I know I'm not going to get through all this. Plus, I can talk once I get rolling, because I tell you this, I am very passionate about what I do, because I've seen how getting a handle on these things can really be a game changer for people, right? So let me ask you this. Financial principle number 1 is spend less than you make. Spend less than you make. So let me ask you this question. At the end of the month, is there more month at the end of the money, or is there more money at the end of the month? Is there more month at the end of the money, or more money at the end of the month? In other words, are you running out of money before your next paycheck? Are you living paycheck to paycheck? I think about this. Think about when you were growing up, or your life situation. What were the conversations about money that occurred in your home? What were the conversations about money that occurred in your home? Many parents, and you probably know this, some of you may know this, in some homes, people live paycheck to paycheck. Maybe some of you have done that in the past or now. I don't know your situation. I'll tell you this though, most people do the best they can with the knowledge they have. Most people do the best they can with the knowledge they have. And again, that goes back to why I'm passionate about this, because helping people think about these things in maybe a different way, expanding their knowledge so they can have these tools to help them in the future. But getting back to your family growing up, did they argue about money? Did they live paycheck to paycheck? Maybe some were evicted from their home or apartment. So now, you know, maybe some of you have lived through this. And so now getting some information, you have an opportunity to change and put into your life financial habits that can turn things around. And I'll also say this: this is not just for young people. This is not just for people in midlife. This is not just for people who are seniors. This is for everybody. And you say it's too late for me. No, it's not. No, it's something that we can put into practice now. And what is a habit anyways? It's just something that we do over and over and over again. Some of you, I think everyone has a habit of having a dinner or breakfast or lunch or or a combination of those meals. Why? Well, we do it because we get hungry, right? Some of you maybe have a habit of going to the gym every other day, or walking 2 miles a day. Or some of you have a habit of, having Sunday dinner with the extended family, right? So those are habits that we've acquired over time. Financial habits are the same thing. You know what? It's not done by overnight. And I tell my clients this all the time. It's baby steps, moving in the right direction. So here is a way to help us with spending less than you make. And I can send this out at some point in our talks, is putting together a personal cash flow worksheet. This is something that that I use in my practice all the time, working with people, seeing how much they bring in a month and how much is going out a month. And I'm not usually concerned about the annual basis. I am more concerned about the monthly basis. So you say, and then we work through this. So you say, well, that's great, but where do I cut? Here is my experience, and everybody's experience is different, of course, but in general, there's 2 places that we can cut the budget, and it's relatively easy to fix. Number 1 is, and this really ties into the overall focus of these webinars is healthy eating. Because number 1, many of us, if we reduce our fast food intake and fast food and drink intake and going out to, McDonald's, but even for people who are maybe a little bit more healthy minded, going to Starbucks, getting that coffee every morning, or getting that special coffee latte with a little shot of vanilla and decaf, getting those boutique drinks that cost north of $4. But that can really add up over time, is going out to eat too much and spending money on fast food and drink. So my solution to that is either make coffee at home and bring a bag lunch if you're going out. The other place is looking at your subscriptions that you have. So I'm not talking about magazine subscriptions. I don't know if anyone has those anymore. I think we have one in our home. But I'm talking about subscriptions to Pandora, Spotify, YouTube TV, Hulu, Peacock, what else? Netflix, all these online subscriptions. If you don't watch those or keep track of those, they can really add up. And, you know, one's $3.99, one's $4.99, one's $15.99, one's $20.99. My point is those add up. So if you're not using those on a regular basis, and by the way, they're very easy, just one click and bam, they've got you and you're in. If you're not using those on a regular basis, i.e. 2 or 3 times a week, watching the Netflix or the Hulu or Peacock, whatever, get rid of those. So those are 2 quick places that you can start cutting that budget immediately. And I'm not saying that these things are necessarily easy to do. No good habit is necessarily easy to do, but it's building those practices in place that will help us in the long term. Yeah, so getting back to, let's go back here. The first financial habit is spending less than you make. And by the way, you know, this is what I do for a living, is help people with these kind of things. So my contact information was up front. I will also put my contact information in the chat. And just pausing here for a moment, did anyone have any questions about what I was talking about? Oh, it looks like there's some chats here. I don't know if those are for me. If you have any questions.
I put a comment. Does anyone relate to what you were saying? And I definitely do. I remember earlier, those things you were saying about those prescriptions, getting coffee. I was getting coffee from Starbucks and it started adding up. But anyway, the bottom line, they were called leaks, like leaks in for a woman, our purse. You know, for men, it'll be a leak in your, because when you add it all up at the end of the month, it's costly. So then I went to Dunkin' Donuts. So that was like $3. But wait a minute. Then I went to McDonald's. It was $1. So I was saving, making conscious steps, save. And now I make my own coffee.
Okay.
It's just as good.
Yeah. And you know, I would just say this, you cannot undo the past. So if you've had some bad spending habits, okay, well, that's happened. Now let's move forward and let's start putting in systems in place. And you can see, I just started with the tip of the iceberg today. So come back for more next week. But you know, start putting in some positive practices and moving forward.
Right. And if anyone, as we're going to move to the next section, if anybody want to put some comments in of what Doug says, do you relate to it? Do you see things in your own, you know, personal financial being things that where you can start saving more to accumulate what they call a harvest, and you know, you can put those things in the chat, okay? And then Doug is going to put his information as well. So now we are going to Let's Cook with Chef Karen Crawford.
Hello.
All righty.
Yes, good morning again. And I want to let you all know that today's cooking demonstration is sponsored by a donation from Thrivent. So we want to thank our friends at Thrivent for sponsoring us on today. And our menu is, thank you. Our menu is falafel with a tzatziki sauce served on a bed of spring greens. And then a lemon couscous with broccoli. And our beverage today is a lemon-elderberry spritz.
I'm looking forward towards that drink, as well as the food.
So I'm going to start with the falafel that takes the most time. So falafel is made from primarily chickpeas. This is what all right, I'm going to assume we are. I'll just move forward. So these are dried chickpeas. And you can get them in a bag, just like any other dried bean. And you see the size of them here is maybe a little larger than a pea. And you can rehydrate them. So there's two ways you can rehydrate your dried beans. You can do the overnight method where you pick through them, you sort them, you put them in a bowl with about 2 inches of water, and then you cover it and let it sit overnight. So that's like kind of a lengthy process. Or you can do the quick method, which is you put them in a pot. This is what I did. These have been sitting in a pot for not quite an hour, but so what you do is you put the dried beans in your pot, you cover it with 2 inches of water, you bring it to a boil, you let it boil for 1 minute, you turn it off, you cover it, and you let it sit for 1 hour, just no heat. Or you can use canned beans, which are already hydrated. So either way, it's a pretty inexpensive ingredient to use. So I'm going to put my chickpeas in the food processor. And this is one of my top 12 tools that I think are worth investing in for your kitchen. And this is chopped white onion. I believe it's about a quarter cup of chopped parsley, some garlic. These garlic cloves are huge, so I'm just using one. And then my spices, coriander and cardamom. Cardamom is kind of hard to find. It can be a little pricey, but if you buy, watch for the sales, and usually around in the springtime or in the fall is probably your best time to buy. I'm going to add a little salt, sea salt, fresh black pepper, I'm going to throw in just a scooch of lemon juice. This is fresh lemon juice. And I'm just gonna, it's gonna get a little noisy for just a minute here. And then you need to just scrape down a little bit. I'm going to pulse it just a little bit more. And I'm curious, has anyone had chickpeas before? Have they had falafel before? Or is this something totally new for you?
Chickpeas and falafel are awesome. Yeah.
Okay, we have one other falafel fan in the house. Great.
Well, you have two, another one. I love
Okay.
falafel.
All
And
right.
and I'm just looking for a way. I haven't done, I mean, I've done them in my cooking classes, but I would like to really experience them, how to bake them, because they're usually fried. And so I'm really interested in how to bake them. But I love them.
Yeah, I did some baked ones maybe a month ago, and they were very flavorful. And I think the key is to have the right sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did half of them baked and half fried, and they were both delicious. So it's possible.
Well, we've done that fake bake chicken. I have a recipe on that. And so I'm sure the falafels is the same. And most people, you cannot even distinguish even the look of it when it's done, right. Or, when you take your time and care of, it being baked and fried with the chicken. And so I'm sure the falafel soup could be the same as well. What about everyone else? I think someone else, what Johnny said, she wants to try it. And once you try it, I think you'll really embrace it. But I agree with you, Karen. The secret is the sauce.
Yes, exactly.
So, Karen,
Yes.
are there some other recipes that we use chickpeas in? Have we used them before? I know they go great in soups.
Yeah, but hummus is another great one.
Oh, yes, hummus.
Of course, and dipping pita bread in the hummus is delicious. You can get a multi-grain, whole grain pita, but there's so many variants of hummus. You have the roasted red pepper, the spicy, the non-spicy, the plain, the garlic. There's a lot of delicious ways that you can make hummus, and it lasts.
Yes, it
for a
does.
while. Very easy to make.
I was just sharing with Chef Karen that I wasn't looking for it, but I saw it, and it was lemon hummus. I was sharing it with her, and I was inspired to buy it and try it because which was very, very tasty. And I said, oh, I could just add lemon. That's another way of expanding our flavors and our palates of. And especially when people say that they don't like it, is because it doesn't have a lot of flavor to it. You have to add the flavor.
Yes, that's very true. Yes. The scallions and garlic and seasonings.
Okay, so this is our plant-based tzatziki sauce. And so in this bowl here, I have shredded cucumber, and I have coconut milk yogurt alternative. This is fried by So Delicious. And I found that at Whole Foods. The recipe referenced two other brands that I was not able to find. So, so here we go. So here I'm adding lemon juice. I'm adding fresh dill. You can also use dried. And I'm adding garlic. And I will say that the yogurt, the coconut-based yogurt, is not as dense as the traditional dairy yogurt. And Karen, maybe you can comment, are there other plant-based yogurts that have a denser consistency, or are they all about the same in your experience?
Yeah, I use a coconut milk-based vegan yogurt. It has a really good density and a very good flavor. I personally like that one the best. The flavor profile, I think the density is around the same with the vegan yogurts, but the taste is
Mhm.
what I have a problem with. The almond milk yogurt, in my opinion, is not delicious. But
Okay.
if you're using it for cooking, then that shouldn't matter.
Right, it should
If you're
be
looking, yeah, the
right.
taste won't
Not
matter.
straight up with like having it with fruit or something.
Yeah, if you're having it with granola or fruit, that's different. But if you're cooking with it just for the consistency and the thickness of it, that's fine. But I use a coconut-based yogurt, so.
Okay. Very good. Okay, so that is our sauce. Now I'm going to move on to, so I'm going to shift things around a little bit. Our couscous. And this is a pearl couscous. So it's a little larger than the traditional couscous, which is much smaller. But I think this is more authentic in terms of Mediterranean cooking. So that's the kind I'll be using today.
Karen, can you give us some nutritionist Karen a little tidbit about couscous and health benefits? Karen?
Maybe
She may have stepped away.
talking to me.
Well, if you have some, I was talking to nutritionist Karen. As
Right.
people know, we have two Karens on as our presenters today. And maybe I can't say Karen C because your last name begins with a C too,
We
Chef.
just got way too much in common.
I'm sorry, Dale, I missed your question. What was your question?
Chef Karen was introducing couscous to the recipe. And so I asked if you could share a little tidbit about couscous. Its nutritional
sure.
value. Mhm.
Yeah, yes. So couscous is more of like a Mediterranean pasta, even though it's not. It's more along the lines of rice. It's very quick to cook.
Mhm.
That's one thing that I definitely like about it. It is maybe roughly about 6 grams of protein, and about 2.2 grams of fiber. So that's not bad on the fiber side. It has a little bit of vitamin B6 and magnesium in it as well, but it's very good because it also has selenium in it. And another way that I get selenium is also by eating Brazil nuts, just a couple
Yes.
of spoonful of Brazil nuts.
How many do you
So
eat a day?
3.
Yes, that's what my mother said.
3.
You only need 3.
Yeah, I really want.
You get all the
selenium.
selenium that you need.
Yeah, yep, so I do. If they're small,
would just set everything off balance, right?
yeah. So, but couscous again is a pasta. It's made from semolina. So that's another different quality of couscous, and it's a Middle Eastern, North African delicacy, actually, Moroccan type of Israeli, Lebanese type of grain that they use as their staple. So those are some of the nutrition benefits of couscous. And again, I love the fact that it cooks so fast. And one thing you can do is add chives, chopped onions, garlic, olive oil. You can spice it up in so many different ways. You can add currants, raisins to give it a different flavor profile as well.
Yes.
Okay, great. So right now I'm sauteing garlic and a little bit of olive oil. And while I'm waiting for that to just get just a little bit brown, I'm gonna show you a tool that perhaps some of you might not be familiar with, but this is a zester for citrus primarily. And so when your recipe calls for lemon zest, this is one of the, you can also use a grater or microplane, but if you just need a little bit, you just press it against the flesh and it comes right off. Be easy. So that, I'm going to say that's approximately a quarter teaspoon I need. And I'm going to cut this not quite in half, a little less than half for this teaspoon or so of lemon juice that I need. And I see that my garlic is browning. Oh, let me go ahead and add the.
This is almost like Murphy's Monday.
So I'm going to switch back to falafel. This is coming to a boil. That's just going to cook out. We're going to check on our falafel dough. So again, I'm going to heat just a little bit of oil, and I could use, usually I wanted to use my misto. I don't know how many of you are familiar with misto, but basically you can turn your olive oil into a cooking spray with that device. So it's like a little aerosol sprayer, and you can control what's in there as opposed to the purchased cooking sprays that have a bunch of things in there that I think we don't want. So here you see it's coming together really nice. So I'm going to make little patties about the size of, I would say maybe a little larger than a golf ball squashed down. And you see, we did not need eggs to get this to come together. I know a lot of people think, well, how are you going to get it to come together without any eggs? But you can. And also, if you like to make potato cakes, you can make potato cakes without adding the egg by boiling the potatoes first. And then that starch in the potato pulls it together really nicely without any egg. I did add a little bit of flour. So my pan is hot. And we could do this. I haven't tried this, but we could do this. You could do it in the air fryer if you have one, or you could do it in the oven possibly. I haven't tried that, but I'm thinking it should come out. The only issue is, you know, how to get it brown in the oven.
Can you
That would
use
be my
can you use the broiler, or could we use like initially a non-stick pan and turn it on both sides to get
put it in a non-stick pan in the oven, you're saying?
No, you're saying how to get it brown, because if it
Oh, okay,
bakes.
so you're saying brown it initially in a nonstick skillet and then transfer it to the
Yes, like, you know, like they do steaks sometimes. I see they shear it. They call shear it and
here.
you shear. And pop it in the
Like
oven.
the department store, sear.
Yeah, and pop it in the oven. I just put a challenge out there for the group to make falafels, and I have suggested, you know, you can use the canned chickpea; those work well. I believe when we did it in our cooking class, we used canned. And if you don't have a blender, no worries. You can always smash it, you know, to get the consistency that you need, and add your seasoning and everything. But the recipe is really very easy.
Yeah,
to do.
it's not complicated at all.
Mhm. And so I like to respond, you know, from some people if they're in. And so if you do the falafels, just the falafels, you know, you can do the sauce if you want to, but I'm asking just for the falafels. Taste it and let us know how you like it. You know, any comments, any feedbacks that you may have. You need more of this. Next time I would do that. And if you send me a picture of it, we'll enter your name in for a drawing. For it'll be a nice drawing. We'll enter your name in.
Okay. There's an center. Okay.
Johnny asked, can you do the falafels on a grill?
I wouldn't do it on a grill. A griddle.
They might break apart.
Yeah.
A griddle, oh yes, but a grill, they might fall through the slots.
Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly. It's like it would be like putting a salmon patty on your grill. So yeah, they're delicate. I mean, they are somewhat delicate for using a grill.
So Chef Karen, there was one recipe that you did. You had a griddle on top of your stove.
Yeah, I do have a griddle on top of my stove.
Yeah. So, you know, you can do that maybe on top of the stove, so it'll have a firm foundation.
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah, right. But it was flat. There was no. I would use the flat side. Mine is reversible, so there's a flat side, and then there's the you know, the grill side with the grooves. So yeah, I would use the flat side for sure for this.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, I'm just doing a time check for you, Chef. It's 12:01.
All right. We're gonna move into our beverage. So clear all this out of here. One more. When you're in the kitchen, you have to multitask, right? So our beverage is an elderberry, lemon and elderberry spritz. I found these online. This is it's called Jordan's Skinny Syrups is the company, and all of their syrups are sugar free. And And I guess you need to go to the website to find out.
So what are they making the sweetness from?
Right, yeah, I'm just realizing this.
Do they have it on the ingredient?
Yeah, it's not on the label. Isn't there like a law about that kind of thing?
Well, it depends if it's imported. If it's imported, they have different standards, I think. But here in United States.
You know what? It was part of a set.
Okay.
So it's probably on the package.
Oh, okay.
It's probably on the outer box.
And you said it's a syrup? Is it a flavor syrup?
Yeah, this lemon elderflower syrup. Okay, found the box. Okay, so first ingredient is water. Water, citric acid, natural flavor, xanthan, sucralose would be the sweetener. And then these other things are beyond my pay grade to pronounce. So, but it is 0 sugar. So I'm just gonna pour a little of this in here, like a couple tablespoons. And then I found this, this is actually a sparkling mineral water, or you could use seltzer water, or you could use club soda. And then I'm going to add a slice of lemon. That's our drink. So that is our meal. And if you give me a moment to plate.
I don't know if anyone noticed. I was offline for a little bit, and so I was. I missed the last 2 minutes of the conversation, and but it automatically reconnected me back on. I guess it's one of those days.
Okay.
So we're gonna do. Okay. Do you want to do the recipe review, or do you want me to do it?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
go through it. So we
I
have
will.
our falafel, and with the tzatziki, vegan tzatziki sauce, on a bed of salad greens, and then we have our lemon couscous with broccoli, and then lastly we have our beverage, which is a lemon elderflower spritz.
Okay. I'm interested to trying that couscous. 'Cause I have couscous in the house, and I have some broccoli. I have one head, and I like what I don't know if they call them heads or not, but so I have all of those ingredients to try, and I like couscous.
Yeah, and you can always, if you didn't have all the ingredients, you can kind of find other substitutes.
Mm-hmm.
You could use brown rice. That would take longer,
Mm-hmm.
but you could do that, or any other grain. And I encourage people, try new grains. Stop just having rice and pasta all the time. So, oh, where are my almonds? Okay. Hold on. All right.
Karen C, she will continue on.
Okay, so I'm ready to show you our finished product.
Okay, just gonna advance to the next screen and then I'll pin you.
I'm ready when you are.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, I have it pinned, but I see the light. Your chandelier. We don't
Oh,
see-
okay. Here, let me angle down. Adjust it. Stand. Is that better?
Okay, we don't see the full plate.
You don't see the full plate. Okay, I'm gonna pan back a little.
A little bit more. And then I know you'll take another picture of it down, but
At the end, yeah.
okay. Alrighty. So so thank you for sharing that.
You're absolutely welcome. It's my pleasure.
Okay. Before we move on to the next segment, are there any questions for the chef? You can put them in the chat actually, and we'll go on to our next presentation. And now we're going to go into our mealtime discussion. And so we have Karen, you're up.
Right. Okay, those recipes look delicious. So let's look at food and mood. And some of the learning objectives we hope to learn today is what is the feel-good chemical, what foods enhances your mood, and what nutrients contribute to a healthy mood. So the benefits of a healthy mood is the best meal to enhance your mood is one that combines complex carbohydrates with lean protein, along with colorful produce as well. And this can increase availability of the feel-good chemical called serotonin in your brain. Proteins that feed a healthy mood. Protein consumption from foods like fish, beef, chicken, turkey, tofu, beans, eggs, and unsweetened yogurt has been linked to higher levels of dopamine and norepinephrine, which are brain chemicals that play a role in your mood, motivation, and concentration. And so this is why variety really does us well. And they have also done studies where children from, different backgrounds were put in correctional facilities. And once they changed the food and the diet of those children, their attitude and their mood was much calmer and much peaceful. It really made a big difference. So protein, again, protein is one of a complex group of molecules that do all kinds of jobs in our bodies. They make up our hair, nails, bones, and muscles. Protein also gives tissues and organs their shape and helps them work in the way that they should. In short, protein is one of the building blocks that make you into who we are. And some sources of protein, of course, are fish, seafood, skinless white meat, poultry, lean beef, skim or low-fat milk, skim or low-fat yogurt, fat-free or low-fat cheese, eggs, lean pork, and beans. Let's go into carbs and healthy mood foods. Certain foods and nutrients also help your brain to make chemicals that can impact your mood, attention, and focus, while other foods can zap your energy. So candy, high sugar drinks. Those will zap your energy over time. But these carbs are whole grains and whole carbs, and that would be sweet potatoes, rolled oats, beans, and quinoa. Those are just a few examples. Other carbohydrate sources, vegetables, all of them, whole fruits, legumes, nuts, seeds like chia seeds and pumpkin seeds, whole grains. We have tuber vegetables, which are the root vegetables, quinoa, oats, buckwheat, bananas, sweet potatoes, beetroots, oranges, blueberries, and we can definitely add couscous to the list today, which we saw Chef Karen cook. Also, what is recommended as a Mediterranean diet, which fell right in line with the couscous that was made today. And research is showing that a Mediterranean diet will help to increase our mood as far as a good mood and healthy mood. The Mediterranean diet has gained significant attention for decreasing symptoms of depression, with key component being increased intake of vegetables, fruit, omega-3 rich fish, nuts, legumes, and olive oil. Consuming a diet based on whole, unrefined foods with enough protein, healthy fat, and fiber also helps to keep blood sugar stable after meals, and that also affects your mood. And this has been linked to improvement in mood and anxiety. Healthy nutrients for a healthy mood, and over time, eating foods without a lot of nutrients can lead to nutritional deficiencies. So we're talking like junk food and things like that, just that don't have high quality nutrients. So nutrients are important to help promote a healthy mood. And those nutrients are folate, iron, long chain omega-3 fatty acids, magnesium, potassium, selenium, thiamine, vitamin A, vitamin B6, vitamin B12, vitamin C, and zinc. Good ideas for meal combining. So examples of meals which combine protein, fat, fiber, colorful produce, mood supportive nutrients, and whole food carbohydrates include egg quiche with quinoa crust, sounds delicious, olive tapenade and a balsamic marinated tomatoes, a quinoa salad with chicken, grapes, and almonds. Another example is a salmon salad with sun-dried tomatoes, artichoke hearts in a brown rice wrap, a Mediterranean bean and veggie soup with pesto, coconut chicken with purple rice and sauteed kale. And here's another example of grass-fed beef and herb sweet potatoes and roasted broccoli. So these examples are vegetarian or fish, chicken, or beef examples. There's so many varieties and different ways to combine meals and make sure that we're getting whole grains, colorful fruits and vegetables, as well as good sources of protein to increase our mood. Foods to avoid. Meanwhile, avoid foods that leave you feeling mentally drained. Some foods with low nutritional value may give a quick energy boost, but could leave you with low energy and a low mood or poor mood later on. Those include flour-based foods such as breads, crackers, and baked goods, and then your sugary, high sugary sweetened beverages and snacks such as sodas and cookies, candy bars, things of that nature.
But one thing I do want to just ask the group, when it lists all of those nutrients that our body needs, and to help to enhance our mood, our emotions, our feelings, because our feelings and mood is going to interact with our behavior. Next thing that follows, after you get a feeling or in a certain mood, the behavior follows. And so some of the behavior is not so helpful to us. So I'm asking, how many of you take daily a multivitamin? Because we do not, unless we're eating 7 to 9 fruits and vegetables and fresh fruits and vegetables a day, we're definitely not getting all the nutrients that our body actually need for optimum health. And as we were given the example of the different stages of financial, are we just surviving? Or or is our body thriving in ultimate health, meaning we have all the energy that we need to do all the things that we want to do. And so that's why it's so important to include a multivitamins and some supplements into our daily diet. So how many of you use a multivitamin? And Karen, if you would like
I
to add
do.
something to that, please.
Yeah, I do. I definitely take a multivitamin. And one, honestly, in my opinion, one multivitamin is not enough.
Right.
So I take a, yeah. So I take a multivitamin and extra calcium and extra vitamin C and extra vitamin D just to increase.
And B12.
Yeah, I do
Well,
B12
actually, I do the complex. I get
yeah,
them
the
all
B12.
in.
Yeah. So yeah, my one multivitamin, like one a day, just in my opinion, is not enough. And then I definitely try to make sure I get in a raw salad every day, if not 5 days a week. But a raw salad or definitely fruit, fresh fruit for dessert is another way that this can be accomplished along with taking your multivitamins. So.
Okay. And so I want to add too as a comment for those, you know that our program is about embracing a plant-based diet, but today we are talking about the Mediterranean diet, which does include meats and some meats and fish and oils. So we do have some flexibility. A person does have a flexibility in, planning their meals, as Karen says, our meal combining with different food groups. So, and I'm personally not totally against meat from a biblical standpoint. Is nothing in the Bible that says don't eat meat, but what we have come to in our diet, we just can overconsume too much animal protein. It's too much for what the body needs. And actually, what the body actually needs for the average person that's on a 2,000 calorie is only 5.5 ounces a day. And if you want to get a visual of that, count out 50, it's 51 pennies. I think it was either 51 pennies, and it fits in the palm of your hand, 51 pennies. That's the weight of the protein that our body needs in order to operate at optimum health. Anything more is excess. And then it's the excess that we don't burn off, that our body does not use. It gets stored around our waist, around our hearts, in our hips, okay? And that's what we're just providing, and on a journey of just eating correct balance of foods that we need for our body, and to include more fruits and vegetables and whole grains, and just start reducing the amount of animal protein. Karen, would you like to add anything before we do our closing?
Sure. Just basically, just to piggyback off of what you were saying, Dale, is 3 ounces of a lean protein is about the size of the palm of your hand. So keep that in mind. For those who are meat eaters, 3 ounces is about the size of your palm of your hand. And I think, just looking at the palm of my hand, most of us are not eating that as one serving.
Mhm.
So we want to make sure that serving sizes are definitely kept in the forefront while we eat our meals. Sometimes we are overeating and eating too much. We go to restaurants for an 8-ounce steak. That's well over the daily recommended amount.
2 days.
Yeah, for one meal. And one meal.
That's 2 days for the whole 2 days.
So that's what I wanted to add. Portion sizes is everything.
Mhm. Yes. And when you said the palm of your hand, I smiled. There was an internal joke. So the
Right.
palm is not the hand. That was it. Not
The
the hand.
palm.
It's the
palm.
palm of the hand. And it's the thickness of the palm. In fact, they equate it to like the size of a deck of cards.
Yes.
That's about 3 ounces. And so that means you only have 2.5 more ounces for the whole day. So if you cut that deck in half, That's what you need for the whole day. And that's why I think a Mediterranean diet is that the meat is not the main um, feature. You know, the meat is not the main entree. They more use the animal protein for flavoring. And that's one of the things that in our Eastern diets too, like, you know, with the Japanese and Chinese and the Asian diet, the meat is not the feature, you know, on the plate. It's used for flavoring. And as we can convert over to that, our bodies will be more healthier, our minds will be more healthier because you are reducing the saturated fat, which we didn't get into, you know, that clogs up the brain. Okay, and so our final thoughts in closing out is that our initiative is creating a culture of wealth, WELLTH. And I'll go into what that acronym means, but we want to have information how to contact Doug Horne from Thrivent Financial if you want more information, want to know a little bit about him and the company, you can visit the website. And there's also information there about advocates for community wellness. You can take a picture of it or you can take a screenshot, but you will receive a copy of the presentation. And want to remind you of our next sessions on the 23rd and 30th. I did not update the menu, but we're going to focus for next week on snacks and more. Okay, we're going into the summertime, and one of the things that we do during the summer is that we snack a lot, but we can also add on those pounds as well as we're snacking. So we're going to take a journey on some healthy snacks and not the everyday ones. Okay, so please join us, and Doug will be coming back and doing another segment on financial wellness, and we want to thank him for joining us. So Advocates is also a registered Illinois Department of Public Health COVID Prevention Ambassador, which we advocate for people getting vaccinated. And if you're not vaccinated yet, why are you waiting? Ask your families, are they vaccinated? Now that we're going out, any crowds that I'm in, I'm always asking, are you vaccinated or who's not? And we hope that people are honest, but people have been, some people have been honest, say I'm not vaccinated. When they say they're not vaccinated and I'm in that group, my mask goes on. And that's for my own personal protection for me, not only just for me, I may survive, but if I bring a bug home to my mother, she may not, who's 87, okay? And so, and I'm thinking about her, I'm not just thinking about myself. So Vax Up Illinois. And if you're fully vaccinated, we got the green light that we're free to resume all of the activities that we've done prior to the pandemic, but just be respectful of all local and business guidelines when you go into public places. And final note, we need your support to support the mission of Advocates for Community Wellness. And we're all about improving health, having healthier eating habits, having healthy lifestyle, also that we can have a longer lifespan and a good quality of life. That's what we're all about. And to reduce these chronic conditions and complications that really just runs through our families and our communities. And we've seen that from the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, is that the hardest hit population were people of color. And so think about that. So we need your help to continue our wellness program. You can donate at A4CW.org, donate, real simple. No amount is asking, whatever is in your heart, and you can even give anonymously, okay? And so we wanna thank you for joining us. And our time is up, and I thank you for yours. Okay, have a great day.